In the small town of Maplewood, life moved at a gentle pace. Among its residents was a man named Jack, who had once been a humble and honest worker. Jack lived in a small, run-down house and struggled to make ends meet. His situation was desperate, and he often went to bed hungry. Despite his hard work, it seemed that Jack was destined to remain poor forever. Jack felt hopeless and angry. He watched others succeed while he remained trapped in poverty. His dreams of a better life seemed impossible to reach. Every day was a battle for survival, and his frustration grew as he saw no way out. One day, while sitting in a dimly lit bar, Jack met a man named Victor. Victor was a gangster, feared by many and respected by few. He had money, power, and influence, everything Jack had ever wanted. As they talked, Victor offered Jack a way out of his miserable life. "Jack," Victor said, his voice smooth and persuasive, "I can make you rich. All you have to do is help me with my business. You find me girls, and I'll pay you handsomely. It's easy money, and no one gets hurt." Desperate and blinded by the promise of wealth, Jack agreed. At first, he told himself that the girls would be fine, that he was just helping them find work. But deep down, Jack knew the truth. Victor was selling these girls, sending them to places far away, and they were never seen again. As the money started to pour in, Jack's life changed. He moved into a big house, wore expensive clothes, and drove a fancy car. People in the town began to respect him, but Jack's soul grew darker with each deal he made. He tried to ignore the guilt that gnawed at him, convincing himself that this was the only way to survive. In the same town of Maplewood lived a young woman named Emma. Emma was everything Jack was not: kind, talented, and loved by everyone. She owned a small bakery where she created the most beautiful wedding cakes anyone had ever seen. Her cakes were famous not only in Maplewood but in nearby towns as well. Emma's passion for baking was matched only by her intelligence and warmth. Emma's life was filled with joy. She loved her work and the happiness her cakes brought to people. Her dream was to one day open a bigger bakery where she could teach others the art of cake making. Emma believed in the goodness of people and trusted easily, which made her a favorite in the community. Jack noticed Emma's bakery as he drove through town one day. The smell of freshly baked bread and cakes wafted through the air, drawing him in. As he watched Emma through the bakery window, an idea began to form in his mind. He saw an opportunity not only to expand his business but to trap Emma in his web. Jack walked into Emma's bakery, his eyes scanning the cozy interior. The walls were adorned with pictures of Emma's creations, each cake more stunning than the last. Emma greeted Jack with a warm smile, wiping flour from her hands. "Hello, Jack," Emma said. "Welcome to my bakery. What can I do for you today?" Jack returned her smile, trying to appear genuine. "Emma, I've heard about your incredible cakes. I have a big project coming up, and I think your talent is just what I need. This could be an opportunity to showcase your work across the country." Emma's eyes lit up at the prospect. "That sounds amazing, Jack. What do you have in mind?" "I can't reveal too much yet," Jack replied smoothly. "But I assure you, it will be the chance of a lifetime. You'll gain recognition beyond Maplewood." Emma was thrilled. This was the break she had been hoping for, a chance to fulfill her dream. Without hesitation, she agreed to work with Jack, excited about what the future held. As the days passed, Jack introduced Emma to Victor. They met in a luxurious hotel, and Emma was impressed by the grandeur. However, she felt a sense of unease around Victor. He was charming but had a cold, calculating gaze that made Emma uncomfortable. Victor, on the other hand, was captivated by Emma's beauty and talent. He saw her as a prize, someone he wanted for himself. He showered Emma with compliments, trying to win her over, but Emma remained polite and distant. Her focus was on the project she believed she was working on. Emma started to notice strange things. She overheard conversations between Jack and Victor that didn't make sense. Late at night, she saw young girls being led into rooms and never coming out. Her curiosity turned to suspicion, and Emma began to investigate quietly. One evening, Emma found a ledger hidden in Jack's office. It detailed transactions involving the sale of girls, with Jack's name prominently featured. The truth hit her like a cold wave. Jack and Victor were trafficking women, and she had unknowingly become part of their operation. Emma's heart raced with fear and anger. She realized she needed to act fast to save the girls and stop the criminals. But she knew she had to be careful. If Jack or Victor suspected her plan, it could mean danger for her and the girls. Emma spent sleepless nights devising a plan to bring down Jack and Victor. She knew she couldn't do it alone and needed to think carefully about her next steps. Her mind was filled with images of the girls, scared and trapped, and she was determined to free them. The opportunity came during a grand ceremony that Victor was hosting. It was an event where all his associates would be present, including Jack. Emma was tasked with baking the cake for the occasion, and she saw this as her chance to take action. Emma knew it was risky, but she decided to poison the cake. Her hope was to incapacitate Victor and his men long enough to alert the authorities and rescue the girls. She kept her plan a secret, not even telling her closest friends, knowing that any slip could ruin everything. The day of the ceremony arrived. Emma baked the cake with steady hands, carefully adding the poison she had acquired. She felt a mix of fear and resolve, knowing that what she was about to do was dangerous but necessary. The ceremony was held in a lavish ballroom filled with guests. Emma watched from a distance as Jack and Victor mingled with their associates, unaware of what was about to happen. Her heart pounded in her chest, but she remained calm. When the cake was finally served, Emma held her breath. She watched as Victor, Jack, and their guests eagerly devoured the dessert. Within minutes, chaos erupted as people began to collapse, clutching their stomachs and gasping for air. Seizing the moment, Emma rushed to free the girls who were being held captive in a nearby room. She led them to safety and called the police, explaining everything she had discovered. Sirens wailed in the distance as law enforcement arrived, arresting the unconscious criminals. Emma felt a sense of relief wash over her, knowing that the girls were safe and the trafficking ring had been dismantled. But she also knew that her actions would have consequences. Poisoning the cake had been her only option, but it was a choice that would lead her to face the law. Emma's trial was held in the town's courthouse, and it drew a large crowd. People were divided in their opinions. Some saw Emma as a hero who had saved countless lives, while others viewed her actions as reckless and dangerous. The courtroom was tense as Emma sat before the judge, her heart heavy with the weight of her decision. The prosecutor painted her as a vigilante who had taken the law into her own hands, while her defense attorney argued that she had acted out of necessity to prevent greater harm. Emma listened as witnesses testified about her bravery and compassion. The girls she had rescued spoke about the horrors they had faced and how Emma had saved them. Their words brought tears to Emma's eyes, and she hoped the judge would understand why she had done what she did. When it was time for the judge to deliver the verdict, the room fell silent. "Emma," the judge began, "your actions have saved many, but they were not without risk. Taking justice into your own hands can have serious consequences. However, I recognize the intent behind your actions and the lives you have saved." Emma was sentenced to a short prison term, with the possibility of early release for good behavior. She accepted the judgment with grace, knowing that she had done what she believed was right. Emma's time in prison was challenging, but it gave her a chance to reflect on her actions and the events that had unfolded. She received letters of support from the community and the girls she had saved, which gave her strength and hope. Upon her release, Emma returned to Maplewood, where she was welcomed with open arms. Her bakery had been closed during her absence, but her friends and neighbors helped her reopen it. Emma was determined to rebuild her life and use her experience to make a positive impact. With renewed purpose, Emma focused on helping other survivors of trafficking. She started a program at her bakery to teach them baking skills and provide them with a fresh start. Her bakery became a place of healing and new beginnings for many. Through her journey, Emma learned valuable lessons about love, resilience, and the power of community. She realized that justice was not always black and white and that sometimes difficult choices had to be made to protect the innocent. In the end, Emma's story became an inspiration to others, a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the enduring pursuit of justice. She had faced betrayal and danger, but she had emerged stronger and more determined to make the world a better place. Her journey was far from over, but Emma knew that with love and courage, anything was possible.